We have some groundbreaking news coming out on September 26th. One of the big major role players here in the bicycle industry, the Pros Closet, has just announced that they will be going out of business in October. They recently sent out emails. They also have on their webpage saying going out of business sale, 75% off site wide before we close the doors. They had before, during the summertime, a end of the season sale, and they said all sales were final, basically foreshadowing. They said that because of the fact that the sales were so low, but basically they're doing all sales are final because of the fact that they are going out of business. And it's sad to see. You never want to see anyone in your business go out of business, because I have always said this. I think there's enough to go around for everyone, but why or how did it end up here? I have made countless videos about the bicycle industry going up and down. I experienced myself in my retail store. I always talk about how things are going on in my store right now as well. Basically saying that the only things that are really thriving in our store are really high-end bicycles, and usually the 1%, I like to call them, are buying these high-end bicycles, and typically they're not buying used bicycles. Our entry-level to mid-range to upper high-end range has definitely fallen off for want and demand, and the really rich are selling off their bicycles and just buying brand new bikes off the showroom floor. So I've said this before, the Pros Closet, there's a couple other bicycle companies like this as well that buy the used stuff. They loaded up on a ton of inventory during that 2020 era, where they were giving extremely high prices for used bicycles and used inventory. And now it's coming down to, we're all feeling the squeeze here. It's not anything they're doing wrong, but basically you stock up on a ton of used inventory that was selling like hotcakes. You're giving people overvalued price points to get their business. You're paying more than what the bicycle is worth because you think that it's never going to end. And then you get stuck with loaded inventory that you're basically upside down on. And when you have to go ahead and start feeling this squeeze, you're selling bikes for below what you paid for it. And you're not turning a profit. You're not able to pay your employees, pay your rent, pay your building staff, pay your business. And it's a tough world. So, yeah, so they basically announced a going on business sale. Even during 2022, I think they even opened up a... The hell was that? Sorry about that. There's a little hurricane going on outside. But yeah, basically in, I think like 2022 or 2021, they also opened up a retail store, which we were concerned about as a shop because we didn't know if this was the beginning of something that they were expanding, and they basically put their feet in the ground, stepping away from e-commerce and having a physical store. I don't know how well that did for them, but obviously we can see here, but they went ahead and they opened up in Colorado. And yeah, you could see the writing was on the wall because I made videos about this as well. Speaking about their layoffs for employees multiple times, and also the offers they were giving for people for new bikes. I mentioned this before. I had customers that were trying to buy bicycles in my store that had F12 Pinarello Dogmas, Pinarello Dogma Fs, Tarmac S-Works SL7s, and they were submitting them to the Pros Closet, and they were giving them deals like $2,000 for a full SRAM red bicycle, $4,000 for a full SRAM red bicycle, and that was basically just them probably in the early scheme of things saying, hey, we're not going to buy it unless it's dirt cheap and we can turn a profit on it. But there is, if you ever go to their website, there is a ton of items from used bikes on there to basically brand new bikes as well. Like if you go on here, you have brand new Orbea Orcas, Arrows. They're on discount. So this isn't new either, but basically when bicycle shops were hurting to move inventory, they'll reach out to companies like Pros Closet, Bicycle, Cycle Limited, and they would move their inventory to these companies. That's why you'll see brand new bicycles on here, but this is what looks to be new with warranty condition. Orbea Orca Arrow, $6,500 for $4,200. Basically, what would happen is, I don't know if they had a deal with Orbea. Maybe they met an Orbea dealer and they were having tough times. They dumped their inventory to get their money back. So it's a tough business right now for sure. And to have all this mid-range stuff, all this inventory that they pay top dollar for, like, it's got to be a nightmare to own any of this stuff. So you can definitely see it. So what does that mean for the Pros Closet? Will someone buy them out? I've talked to other people in the business industry talking about maybe a brand like a Specialized, a brand like a Cannondale could buy them to compete against Trek with their bike barn, where they have these used bikes where they can go ahead and use this as a tool to go ahead and say, hey, we'll take your used bike to upgrade you to a brand new Specialized or something like that. I don't see that. I think there's too much inventory for them to have on there, and the writing's been on the wall for a long time. It's not sitting there saying like, hey, I told you so. I'm going through it and I can see it. We have inventory that we sit on, and thankfully for us, we own our building, we own a lot of our inventory. We're able to go ahead and work off new inventory. But I could imagine if we were buying all this inventory, we went ahead and I could imagine if we bought all this inventory, we went from a 24,000 square foot building in Colorado to a 137,000 square foot in Louisville. And you went ahead and you upped your cost of production, you upped your cost of doing business. A lot of companies did that. They bought second stores, they expanded, they bought more inventory because they never thought there would be an end. So I could imagine having all that inventory and then only really right now the high-end stuff seems to be moving for us. And even then, the high-end stuff has definitely slowed down. And people are like, oh, who's buying these $12,000, $13,000, $14,000 bikes? In all honesty, it's the people who, don't take any offense to this because I wish I had your money, who have enough money that don't care about their money and are able to go ahead and spend the money on the bicycles. And that is with a compliment there because of the fact that they're in the position to buy a $14,000 bike. So those are the bikes that are moving. They want the new, the shiny, the brand new stuff. But yeah, anyways, very, very sad. But yeah, it seems like a lot of these companies did this. They all moved up. They all saw it happening. They all took their profits, expanded, never thought it would end, and then they got stuck with a ton of inventory that now they're running 75% off of. So what could this mean for the bicycle industry as a whole? If no one buys them out and no one keeps their inventory, a lot of this inventory is going to get flooded, if not go to auction. It definitely probably hurt our sales as well for mid-level bikes. I would be upset if I was an Orbea dealer. There's some Bianchi E-Ride bikes on here as well. But all these bikes that they have accumulated over the years, frames, components, shoes, everything that is basically going to hit the marketplace. And we are going to have to compete against that now on top of the slowing, declining sales. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think about this situation. Do you think any more are lined up for this? Do you think that there are other brands out there similar to the Pros Closet who bought and sold all this used inventory and going down it? I talked to Cycle Limited that is located to us in the Boca Raton area, and they do the exact same thing the Pros Closet does. And they said that they seem to be thriving. And we've actually used them a couple times for customers who want to trade in their used bikes, go ahead and buy new bikes. They give out pretty fair offers. They're not overshooting by any means. They say this is what your offer is. And every time we give them a bike, they're very happy to take it. And they said they're doing phenomenal with it. So maybe they didn't get stuck with so much inventory during that COVID time. But yeah, it's pick or choose. Maybe they just bit off a little bit more than they could chew for the Pros Closet. And then maybe the cost of their business is just outweighing their profits. But anyways, guys, let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.